Susan Medway.
Yeah, but I call it the.
She's still younger than us. Renee and I are in the same
Oh,
age. Petty cash.
Anyway, so it was like, when you list this, you don't
I've
count.
never really seen her letterhead.
What?
Oh, I have to look until I start signing checks.
She sent us back a text.
Why?
Yeah, she's up. Daughter and grandkids.
What is it? He thought he was.
Well, I told her before I was gonna. It's just nice to just call her. She calls and she's
Oh,
gonna.
Ray Apple's house, Linda Rich, I knew they were in the process of trying to buy it. They wanted to buy
We're doing fine.
Judge Lewis, the people they
Dog and I are
rent from
doing
bought,
something.
said they were gonna buy that house, is what I had heard.
Oh, I see. So Linda must have got married.
Yes, they, yeah.
You got one.
Yeah, we lived in the same
car
house for a number of years back.
I heard it straightened up. Did you?
We moved to Arizona.
It looks good.
My wife liked to
I
call
really
it.
can't tell where the house.
His daughter and grandkids, well, it's $600.
Well, it's pretty good, except the paint, or the
6
trim,
hours.
I mean, the paint or the site, yeah, it's different green.
Train fare.
But it really matched it good
One
otherwise.
of the ones that's always got the siding matched the house.
Oh, does he?
I did it, I did hers.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and bite the bullet, down where you don't need you.
What are you gonna do when it gets cold back there? Is it the same thing you do when it gets hot here? Stay inside. I told Lola, I said, you know, it's easier to put clothes
I
on.
bought a car, I had to have central air, tore up our camper, had to do tires, I had repairs on
When
the
we started
camper.
unloading the truck 2 weeks
Trying to buy a golf cart,
ago.
because they think I can load too.
Yeah, I know, I've been down, I got some friends that live in
Well, I'm
Tucson.
looking at buying a.
Tucson's not bad.
Oh, are you? I did that last January.
How much do you think we need to
But it doesn't look really.
Oh, you can just pull it itself?
Somebody here that lives
Oh, no, I'm not.
Not hers.
No, he knows the story.
Why?
Mine is a
Well, the
wall
building,
pond.
like somebody said.
A wall hunt, oh.
$600.
Really?
Yes. $600 for it, so it hangs off the wall.
Yeah, we just got going there.
It's an American thing. What did you say over there?
I gotta change that.
That would cost me $5,000 to remodel.
Hey, Rick.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
You made her back.
So how did you
Say
do?
you, but you want to be here.
Well, I wasn't for
Said there was a chance.
Oh, yeah.
I say it's.
Well,
And,
What you doing?
He's betting against him.
FHA.
Oh.
How did he do?
Now we give them an offer.
I didn't want it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, how did Maddie?
They wanted us to make the offer, they had it listed.
Quizball,
Chicago.
Chicago.
But you know,
Well, I
Blonde
let
is
you
Chicago,
know.
I would say it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think they just
I
invite
would,
people.
I give them a
Oh,
low
okay.
offer too.
To be invited.
First time.
Yeah,
I guarantee you they never invite
look pretty
you.
nice.
A lot of them were private schools there, other events and stuff.
So we backed out, they turned around and put it out to
It was fun.
25.
Yeah.
That's the, that's the FHA.
Yeah, middle school.
So then we found this Susan Medway from
That's pretty good though.
Fell in love with that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a-
That was last weekend.
What happens in Columbia stays in Columbia, though, right, dog?
Exactly, we don't go there. And even these two don't know exactly everything going on. Well, his wife was with him, so I gotta qualify that.
He had somebody watching him.
Yeah, I can't go anywhere with those.
No, but we had a hoot with the kids in the pool, your kids are
This
fun.
was an earth home we had down there.
Yeah, or
Hybrid story edition.
Hybrid.
Main floor, they were just called within, and they never did, they set the toilet over there, but that's the part that had to house that down there.
Stayed at the brewery, all four.
Pretty good place to be, I
It
think.
was wonderful. That's why we don't have more meal.
Whenever, I was gonna say, whenever we go on vacation stuff, we try to stop at breweries just because they feed you.
They feed you.
Yeah.
He's leaving out the drinks.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Shush. Don't go there. Remember?
What happens in Columbia stays in
Yeah,
Columbia.
same. Hopefully, you're live streaming all of this.
We're live streaming this.
It's still staying there.
It'll be all right.
Here, this is the one that. There you go, Eric. That's it.
Yeah, I'll put it up there, did she?
Yeah. See, and there's Ryan's back. Okay, yeah.
Lord, it's
Do you see your back? Okay, it's on your way. Now the complaint was, why do they keep it a meat locker in these meetings?
Keep you awake.
It didn't work for me, I wanted to call up, pull a blanket.
I swear it's about 58 degrees in there. I never get cold, but I was cold.
Well, I like it, through it. It was better the second day, they turned it up a little.
Not much, they didn't.
It was starting to get cool.
That first day, it was way down there. Here, you wanna start with middle after them? You ain't signing any of these? You're supposed to be signing these while I was going through those.
$7:05.
Yeah, Echo keeps a pretty good time with flaws. What's this? Have they not come down off
This is
their,
like the Irene Edwards house.
have they not come down off their deal?
Oh, is that the one that Jeff Lowe?
Who thought?
I guess. So you think Mark Twain,
Yeah, might be.
Mark Twain, did you ever have any contact with them, you know, was supposed to have a contract or something, or?
There you go. I guess we better call it to order. That girl get on patient. Everybody ready? Anybody would like to, Mr. Colton, would you like to lead us in prayer?
Yes, I can do that. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this evening, for allowing us to come together. And Lord, we just ask that you just be with us tonight as the city leaders come together and put their minds together and make decisions tonight. We just ask that you just be the center of that, and Lord, that everything be done decently and in order. And Lord, we just thank you, and we ask this in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Ryan, would you like to lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, you don't.
Reading of minutes.
Minutes from May 9th, 2016. The Board of Aldermen met in regular session with Mayor Strickler presiding. Alderman present, Renee Edwards, Ron Stansberry, Rick Winter, Dot Cricksizer, Delmer Strange, Ryan Mason. Absent none. Mayor Hunolt called the meeting to order and asked John Bodie to give the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Minutes of the April 11th meeting were read and approved. Collectors and treasurers' reports were given. Motion was made by Delmer Strange and seconded by Renee Edwards to pay all bills as presented. Motion carried unanimously. John Bodie, representing the Knox County Community Development Corporation, KCCDC, addressed those present. He gave some background regarding the KCCDC involvement with the country club. He said they have done some cleanup and continued maintenance with the assistance of the Life of Christ Church members, and in exchange have allowed them to use the facility occasionally. John said the KCCDC is trying to help the city by administering the maintenance and upkeep of the buildings, and the city is welcome to take over at any time. Bodie reported that Michael Haber, Knox County R1 baseball coach, had approached him regarding the use of the old golf sheds for practice during the winter months and in clement weather when the weather is not suitable to practice outside. He said O'Haver would need to know that they could use these buildings for an extended period of time, since they would need to invest $3,000 to $5,000 for equipment to use. Mayor Hunolt said some citizens have approached him with the idea of moving the ballpark to that location. He said he would like to explore both options. Clay Talton, pastor of the Life of Christ Church, addressed the board. He told how they have been sponsoring activities for the youth of the community. Plans are being made to have a father and son camp out on July 15th and 16th in the area around the clubhouse. Eric Swiggle, a historic preservationist from western Kansas, was present at the meeting. His interest was the former Stagecoach Pizza building, which is in disrepair and appears to be near collapse. The mayor and board shared their thoughts regarding the causes of the current state of the building and the plans of the owner to address the situation. Ty Parrish, utility supervisor, met with the board. He reported that his crew has been working on the potholes and recently swept the cinders off of the streets around the square. Sickle mowing will be done along the city right-of-way later this month. Ty also informed the board that the complete trash route can be run before noon and the trash can be taken to the landfill the same afternoon. He said this will allow more hours for the entire crew to be available for mowing and street maintenance. A notice to this effect will be put in the Edina Sentinel and on the water bills. Ty requested a security light be installed at the city maintenance shed. There was a consensus that the city has a bucket truck and the employees could install a light on the side of the building. Ty reported that the pump for the lift station near Farm and Home has been pulled for repairs and should be returned in a couple of weeks. The board considered the following quotes for a new mower: the Garden Spot, $7,600, the Farm Shop, $7,500. Motion was made by Delmer Strange and seconded by Ryan Mason to purchase the Laser Z E-Series 60-inch deck from the Farm Shop in the amount of $7,500. Motion carried unanimously. Mike Wright, wastewater superintendent, met with the board. He reported that the intensity sensor and composite sampler have both been replaced. Officer Keisha Weibel read the police department report prepared by Chief Kelly Hayes, who reported having sent out notices regarding junk, tall grass and weeds, and derelict vehicles. He also noted that there are safety concerns regarding the former Stagecoach Pizza building. Cones and barriers have been put up to address this issue. Mark Ross of Klingner & Associates met with the board and gave an update on the sewer project. He also presented pay requests for the contractors, and the following action was taken. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Renee Edwards to approve the municipal pipe tool pay request number 2 in the amount of $215,180.59. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Doc Cricksizer to approve the utility solutions pay request number 5 in the amount of $70,292.45. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Renee Edwards to authorize a certificate of substantial completion to be issued to Willis Brothers Incorporated. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Ron Stansberry to approve the Willis Brothers pay request number 8 in the amount of $180,335.80. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Delmer Strange to approve the Keokuk Contractors change order number 4. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Ryan Mason to approve the Klingner & Associates invoice 50464 in the amount of $4,590.20 and $2,846.73 reimbursement to the city. Motion carried unanimously. Mark stated that the estimate of funds to be requested from USDA Rural Development is $473,265.77. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Delmer Strange to approve the estimate of funds recommended by Mark Ross. Motion carried unanimously. Under unfinished business, at the May meeting, Alderman Mason requested an additional stop sign in the 3rd Ward. The board members agreed to look at the Fulton Street area before making a decision. Mason suggested once again that a stop sign would be beneficial to slow the traffic down. Additional police presence in the area or a speed bump were suggested as other ways to slow the traffic. Motion was made by Ryan Mason and seconded by Delmer Strange to have one additional stop sign installed on Fulton Street. Ayes were Ryan Mason, Delmer Strange, and Ron Stansberry. Nays were Rick Winter, Dot Cricksizer, and Renee Edwards. Mayor Hunault broke the tie vote with his aye vote. Under new business, Alderman Mason reported that the city could possibly obtain some assistance with mowing, weed removal, and general maintenance through the GAM program. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Ron Stansberry to obtain further information about the GAM program. Motion carried unanimously. Mayor Strickler stated that he recommends that the following appointments be made: Tom Devaney, City Attorney; Peggy Collins, City Treasurer; Melissa Yoakum, City Collector; Margaret Gibson, City Clerk. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Ryan Mason to approve these appointments. Motion carried unanimously. Mayor Hunault said the city has a pile of brush, but does not currently have a DNR permit to burn. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Ryan Mason to close the current location and contact DNR regarding a new permit to burn. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Ryan Mason to close a portion of the meeting pursuant to 610.0213, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. Roll call vote was taken. Ayes were Renee, Ron, Rick, Dot, Delmer, and Ryan. Nays were none. Motion carried. The meeting was closed. When the open session resumed, Eric Swigel came back into the meeting room and visited with the board about his thoughts concerning the historic buildings in Edina and some of the projects he has worked on in the past. The board welcomed his insight into the situation. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Rick Winter to adjourn. Motion carried. The meeting was adjourned. And I think it was about 11:05 or something.
Yes, ma'am.
So, are there any additions or corrections?
Not to my knowledge.
So we did have one special meeting, not nearly as long, May 24th. The Board of Aldermen met in special session with Mayor Hunault presiding, Alderman present, Renee Edwards, Ron Stansberry, Rick Winter, Dot Cricksizer, Delmer Strange, and Ryan Mason, absent none. Mayor Hunault called the meeting to order and gave the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. The purpose of the meeting was to review the contract with the Knox County Community Center, the KCCC, and to review ordinance number 548, which provides for the vacation and mandatory demolition of buildings. The August 10th, 2015 contract with the community center was reviewed, which allows an annual payment of $2,000 for the services and benefits provided by the center. Either party to this agreement may cancel by providing 60 days notice in writing to the other party prior to the anniversary date of the agreement. The Board of Aldermen heard comments from members of the community and the KCCC board. No action was taken by the Board of Aldermen. Therefore, the annual payment of $2,000 will be made in August. Mayor Hunault reviewed ordinance number 548 with the board. There was a consensus for the mayor to meet with the city attorney and request that he propose an update to this ordinance for their consideration. Motion was made by Ron Stansberry and seconded by Renee Edwards to adjourn. Motion carried. The meeting was adjourned. Any additions or corrections to that?
Seems pretty busy.
You have Melissa's report in front of you, I think. Her collections for the month of May for the water department, Department went to water was 21,828.12. Sewer was 24,185.21. Sanitation was 14,699.75. The general fund was 6,688.71. Recreation, 313.38. Street maintenance was 758.58. Special light fund, 141.77. Meter deposits, $470. The total collected was $69,085.52. And she did have some shut-offs due to non-payment. And they were all ones that moved out of town, or, they just chose to move without telling us.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good then.
Yeah, right.
Any other questions? Anybody have any other questions? Don't speak up.
Oh, that too. Are you ready for the bills?
I suppose.
What about the
Let's see,
treasurer?
treasurer, we can do the treasurer. So Peggy will come forth.
Okay.
How are you, Miss Bailey?
You?
I'm told I have to speak up, you might have to too.
Yes. You probably have more ability to do that than I
It's not good when that happens.
do. Okay. Did y'all have good training last week?
We did, I think we did.
Good. Good.
We're more bamboozled than what we were when we started, so
Well, knowledge is a good thing.
you can't take it away from you.
Right. There's nothing unusual with financial reports. Unless you have any questions, we'll keep moving.
So I haven't passed out the copy of the audit. I didn't know if
Okay.
you wanted to review that or not, or.
I'm ready if they would like to do that. I'm not gonna be here next month, so it might be good to go ahead and do that.
That's a good one. Thank you, sir. I'll sit that one down if I want to spot.
Oh, yeah.
We messed up this much?
Well, if you want some reading to put you to sleep, this will guarantee that. It's all same general format as before. The things that I look at it a little more detailed, but the things most people look at is they're looking for the opinion, which is on page 1. And it says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective modified cash basis financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities in each major fund of the city of Edina, Missouri as of December 31st, 2015, and the respective changes in its modified cash basis financial position and where applicable cash flows thereof for the year then ending in accordance with the modified cash basis of accounting described in note 1. So basically this is saying you've got a clean opinion. The only thing they're referring to is the fact that we use a different basis of accounting than accrual, which is common for small government. So this is just a standard thing. And then the other report, we did have, it's a little thicker than it normally is, and that's because we have federal funds this year. And we don't normally have federal funds. So we have a whole bunch of extra reports in the back, and that's what that's related to. Showing the sewer funds of over $2 million that were coming in as government funds. And then the other thing that we look at is the schedule of finding and questioning costs, which is on page 41 towards the back. And this is where they list under number 2 the findings, and there's only one, and it's also a standard one that you get for small government, which said a lack of segregations of duties was noted during the engagement. Segregations of duties is normally difficult to accomplish within a small organization, but management should be ever mindful of areas that can be easily improved. So we will always have that one because we're never going to have a huge staff where you can segregate things in that department. Financially, it's just not a feasible option.
So few wear so many hats.
So we do everything we can to keep things within the office, separated, and then the backup is how you do things. So, because you are looking at it too, but as you're checking out every month. And then on down number 3, regarding the federal awards program, they said there were no significant deficiencies. So, it's a good audit, everything looks good. The reports are what I expect them to be, so I didn't see anything on that. And if you decide to stay up and read it sometime and have questions.
I'll make sure I have my colors.
Probably you. So, unless you have any other questions, I'll let you move on.
Thank you.
Yeah, monthly bills. Has everybody got a chance to look over the monthly bills? Anything stand out to anybody?
I will second that.
Pay the bills?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, I was gonna vote first. Sorry, I tried. I slept through the Robert's Rule of Order.
No, you didn't. You were awake. Citizen comments.
Citizens comment.
I just spoke with Mr. Bodie and Community Development, and so I think he spoke with the board or something about.
He hasn't spoke with us yet, no.
Haven't spoke with you.
He left a letter for the board,
Oh, okay.
and you all have a copy.
Oh, we have a copy.
Can I have a copy of that?
Yeah.
So I don't. Well, maybe no one's probably ready yet.
Well, I think we know what's gonna happen, but go ahead.
Okay. So pretty much, as far as, I mean, think he said he was going to be turning it back over to the city, the country club and everything out there. So, as far as the Life of Christ Church, we're just kind of seeing where we stand at on everything with that, since that is being transferred back over to the city. So, we're just.
I don't know if we have any other options or any other ideas at this point. I wouldn't wanna go out on a limb and say yes, no, otherwise,
Is he referring to having the church in there? Is that what he's referring to?
well,
What are you referring to?
Yes, that's what as far
Church
as,
itself.
yes, at the country club and what we were doing there. That's pretty much, I was just checking to see where we stand, since that's going back to the city, and so I didn't know if the city was planning on doing something.
Now, last
And,
month I guess you were just saying having special events out there.
Yes.
That's what we're still.
Yeah, that's what we're still doing.
Right. That's all you're asking.
Yes, yes. So,
You still planning like the camp house?
yes. It's just more of community events that's inviting the community and for youth and things like that for the kids. So I'm just basically just kind of seeing where we kind of stand with continuing doing those type of activities out there.
can I ask you a question? What would you feel like if, there was another organization wanted to move in out there and help and maybe do other things? Does it need to be exclusively for the Life of Christ Church, or can we have other organizations that may want to come forward and progress?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a problem at all with that. It's just basically I just saw a building there that wasn't being used, and I thought that this would be something that we could help restore, and it would benefit the city, the community. And so, as far as when I talked to Mr. Bodie, it was more of a he was kind of worried about having different entities coming in with, as far as insurance wise. I didn't know how that would affect, because I know that as far as like when we have different events, it's underneath the umbrella of the church's insurance, and it would cover if any like accidents or anything like that would happen. So I didn't know exactly what, as far as like.
My one concern would be that if KCCDC doesn't have insurance out there, anybody that may want to go fishing out there, do anything else out there, if they fell down and got hurt, it reverts back to us, so we'd have to carry our own insurance also.
Right.
I mean, anybody you invite would be your deal. Anybody that would just happen out there because it's city property would be our deal.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Something we gotta put into mind.
what's the difference between fishing on that side of the lake and the other side?
It's all the same
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
Both sides of the lake is city property.
Right.
The dam all the way around, the road, the dam road, all the way up to where, you turn off to go to Larry Clucky's is our road. In front of Larry Clucky's is ours. It goes around, we own every bit of grassy area around there, basically. So we would have to have insurance.
You legally do have insurance. You surely do have
Yeah, I think
insurance.
we already do.
Well, we need to make sure of that,
Yeah.
if this is the case.
I think we're so new from John Bodie that we don't really know what we want to do.
Well, I'm kind of in agreement, so I don't see any need to foul up any previous plans that they've made, but I don't see any need to set it in concrete.
Yeah.
Either
Right.
way.
I totally understand
I
that.
don't wanna say yes and then
than down the road and
Right, right.
Because I think everyone has just gotten the
Yeah.
letter tonight.
Right.
Pretty much. First we
I
see
understand
that.
that.
So-
I definitely understand that. And so there are some things that we was going to start like remodeling downstairs, and so we kind of stopped that because of a little transition here, and it's just like, so we
Right.
wasn't wanting to put any more finances into that because
I wouldn't blame you a bit, no.
so that's no biggie. What we, you know, the improvements that we've done there, that's no problem there. It's just that we just wanted to be able to come to the city and see what the city is wanting to do. Like you say, we just want to be able to host some events out there, and 6 months down the road, and the city needs to do something, put in there, it's fine with us, you know. That's but we just enjoy the time of that we've got out there to be able to host some events and stuff like that. And,
Well, it's a beautiful place
Yeah.
to do it.
and I've noticed since we've mowed that down there and cleared all that out, I've seen a lot more people coming down fishing down there, and it's
Yeah.
have you?
I'm one of them.
Have you?
It looks nice.
So I mean, a lot of people, the city is enjoying it, you know, and so it's so that's basically one way that we can help serve the city. That's what we want to do. So we're right with you guys, and so any way we can help betterment of the city. That's it. So.
Are you guys planning to have church out there? Eventually start having services or anything?
We're pretty much we have our service there. We'll have like, you know, we'll like do lots of events. That's where we want to do a lot of activity, family events and different kid events and stuff like that. That's what we want to do out there. So.
I have kids I want to bring to those events.
Well, that is a good question, Renee. Are the utilities currently in your name?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out what we need to do here, you know.
Right. It kind of puts us in a sticky situation.
But,
I think it's great for the community, you know, as long as it's nothing in stone and they know we can come at any time and make changes. I think it's a big problem. It's better than the building and
Not to be used for something else they want.
the community.
we've like, you know, we put the propane, we filled that tank up this past winter, and so we still got what, probably what?
No, they filled it up.
They filled it up again?
Got like 80
So it got-
80% in it.
Woo! City, you're gonna benefit tonight. So it's got about 80% of gas in our propane, in, you know, so in the tank there. But
I don't see any need in saying cease and desist. I mean,
yeah.
you've currently not heard it or not willing to hurt it, so.
Oh, we're trying to fix it up whenever we
Right.
can. But no, like I said, we're not asking the city to say, hey, give us a year or 2 years. No, we're not asking for that. We're just asking just to be able to hold events, and that's it. Out there, activities, that's all.
Keep an idea of what you've got as far as fuel and stuff, in case something came up that we wouldn't have a gray area,
Okay.
that it wouldn't be unbeneficial to you and it wouldn't be beneficial or vice versa.
Okay.
And let's just kind of keep an idea where we're at, and I think the consensus is nobody really knows quite what to do just yet, and
I understand that.
I don't want to say proceed, but I would say I wouldn't not proceed.
Yeah, I understand that, so, okay. It's all right.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
With us just getting the letter, I don't know where we're going, so. Well, it could possibly.
You know, it's good to get some grant funds and get mentioned, but it's gonna be a while. Huh?
What was that? His rather sad.
Well, we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Was that all our citizens?
C.E. McCarty.
Yeah.
How are you, Mr. McCarty?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, I don't know.
What it's about is I'd like to see a stop sign go up on South Street, right there at Broadway. People do not yield to anybody on Broadway. And what they do, they are leaving Shoemate and turning onto Broadway in front of traffic. And this has been ongoing for a long time. And there was almost a wreck last week, and somebody hadn't have been a swift driver, they'd got hit broadside. And you know, that's what we don't want to have stop sign on Broadway, because there is one just a block west
So you're saying put the stop sign on Shoemate?
on Shoemate. There's people that come off of Shoemate and they'll turn on the Broadway, and you can be there and they pull right out in front of you. You know, how many times does a street, when you're going straight, you have to yield to somebody turning onto it?
I know what's that, I've seen it.
You know, that's the thing right there. And there was one other thing I didn't get mentioned on there. I would like to see a speed limit sign on the very east end of Broadway. Because there's a lot of mothers and fathers come off that gravel road to go to the daycare, and I don't think they know what slow is. They're like, maybe they've left late from home and trying to catch up. But that's all I needed to talk to the city about. Let you decide what you need to do, if anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well. I'm still getting used to the stop sign order on your, the one Ryan put in.
That's what I'm saying, start doing stop signs, everybody every month wanting stop signs.
Well,
And I personally don't like the last stop sign, but I voted no, so I'm already set.
I don't think that would help the situation he's talking about, the way it looks to me.
I would definitely have to
It's right
see
in
this
front of buildings like
intersection
this house, building.
and drive this intersection before I went to say anything.
Did you get a chance to go by?
yeah, I did, and then I can kind of see what he's meaning. Shoot. I mean, it's easy enough to turn out. Like I said, I'm still, when I take the kids over to their grandmother's, I'm with that stop sign this morning, in fact.
I don't like that,
Yeah, it's
and I was
strange.
wondering if we could take it back.
I don't know why.
Kelly on this one, he did talk to Kelly about this, he said he wasn't supporting this.
Who was it?
Stop signs, every day, stop sign.
I am not with
I'm gonna have it from the
signing
door,
off on it until I drive it.
Two people in the last 3 months on 4th Street and Jackson Street, and there's stop sign. There is, they just.
Because some people just don't even stop, it doesn't matter if there is a stop sign.
Well, the thing about the stop signs, you got hit and they run it, you had more ground to stand on when you run a stop sign. There's no stop sign there.
I just keep going back to our survey we had through MoDOT. You just cannot put stop signs up every place they want. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't favor the last one we put up.
I'm still not in favor of the one that the last one we put up. I don't think it's in the right place.
Well, you know, we didn't want to do stop signs, but yet you come off highway right in front of the building where I'm at. You come all the way up there and all the way over there in front of Mike Fox's where you ever have a stop sign.
Yeah.
How many blocks is that?
And they
And they're
can
gonna have
speed
two
freely.
a block apart. So, I don't know, I'm not in favor of stop signs everywhere.
I
Maybe
will
yields or
definitely have to
caution
drive
signs,
this one and see what I think.
But Kelly, you say he's in favor of it?
So what do you intended to make?
Well, it's one of those deals, like you said, you can get zipping right through there, all the way through.
So is my understanding he's wanting it in front of Bill Hunziker's house? Is that where he's wanting it actually?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what he said it was, Ty and Mike
Let me
said.
see that.
It'd be on the south side.
Well, yeah, what's on the
He's wanting
Huh?
on the
south
shoe
side
bank.
and the north side?
South shoe bank.
North and south.
Yeah.
Runs in front of Monica's Allen's house, north.
North and south.
You want to give Broadway the right of way?
He's wanting to
Still
stop
won't
the
get
traffic going north to south.
Right.
Both directions.
Well, if he wants to stop daycare people, he better put it the other way.
Well, instead of speed limit sign.
Because where is that one stop sign on Broadway? Is it near?
Mike
Fox.
Oh, it's Mike Fox.
Well, there's one. But it's the other direction though. It's on the south side of the street.
To me, it looks like this is a short little street here. If you put it here, then, I don't know, it just doesn't.
Well, it doesn't entail just that street, he wants both sides of that street. He's wanting,
Thank you.
he's wanting both sides of this stopped. I mean, it's a short street, but people come around and do not stop.
I will not sign off on it till I drive it, the last one.
Well, then, once everybody drives it.
Yeah.
Just put it on the agenda for next month.
Yeah.
2 months ago, everybody was supposed to go look at it, and then by last month, nobody had looked at it.
Well,
Proceeded to
I
go.
swear that the last one was said it was at a different street.
Yeah, if you notice, in the minutes, I only put a stop
Yeah,
sign
because
on
there is-
Fulton Street,
it is
because
not
I
clear.
listened to Echo's live stream over and over and over.
And we still couldn't,
and
I
could not
couldn't hear it
figure
on
out
their
where
live
it
stream
was.
either.
Yeah, that's me at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
So I just put on Fulton Street.
Well, I'm not gonna say, but I'm assuming it's at the north end of Tony Marvel's Drive. They're at White's and.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in front of Jack
That's where I
White's
thought he was
house.
putting it when we left
He
here.
came
right?
in the day that it was installed, he said, I think they made a mistake. They put one stop sign like right there.
Yeah, see, I thought it was going the other way. And not on Fulton, but, so, yeah.
Well, let's just all go over there and sit and watch traffic and see how it moves.
Tonight now, you mean?
At your leisure, before the next meeting.
Make sure it's on the agenda, mark it for next month then. Okay. Yes, please.
I'd say let's all take golf carts and let's all go different directions and see if we have a crash.
No, I don't wanna do that. Alrighty. Everybody in favor of that?
Oh, I guess Jack is.
Yep. Mr. Jeff Doss.
I'm representing a group of people that are trying to put together a Knox County community like park association that would take over and like the ball fields, we would like to move them out of that area down there and make them where we can use them a lot more. I mean, I think this year's probably the driest year we've had for some time. Otherwise, it's usually flooded all the time. What we'd like to do is, you guys are kind of the first step of doing this. We would like to ask for the use of some property out at the country club to do this on. If you guys are willing to do that, then our next step would be to go to the county commissioners and ask for a way to finance this, either through a sales tax or property tax of some type. They would have to ask for it. It would be a park association that would be set up on its own board. The monies would come in kind of like the ambulance district or the health department, and, that board would be elected from the county, and, they would, decide what the monies would be spent for, and they'd work within their budget. They would like to, set up that property out there and do multiple things. The ball field would be the first thing we'd like to do. Possibly the next thing would be like, camping, pool, walking trail, anything that, would be an outdoor activity. We kinda feel like, the group feels like, it's something that's kinda missing in Knox County. If we somehow got new business in here that was going to employ several people, my feeling is that them employees would probably not live here and raise a family here because they'd be going elsewhere, where they have parks and things and where there's multiple things to do, let alone trying to maintain what we've got here, as a, workforce and everything. Everything that's ever been started, getting it going, is not an issue in Knox County. Starting something seems to come pretty natural, but it's always the maintenance issue that is the big obstacle. And, with a sales tax or property tax or something that would be funding it, I think it would be easy to maintain. Like a 1/4 cent sales tax would bring in about $72,000 a year. That would take care of mowing, it would take care of any additional things we wanted to try to do out there. And on top of that, we'd be looking at, donations or grants to, do different things out there. The, property that we were talking about is this piece here. And, that there represents, the 2 fields that we currently have, down there right now at the ballpark. There'd be a big field and a little field there. Anywhere we go, there would naturally be an area that, is gonna need some dirt work. Where those are, laid out, there's probably the least amount of dirt work that would be necessary to do that. There's quite a bit of room around there to, have extra parking, put a pool in, over to the very south edge of the property. Could possibly even, put campsites over there, if the park association would, so wanna go that direction. All the way around that area, we could do a walking trail and everything. But the main thing is that we're coming to you guys first and saying, is this something that you guys would entertain and being allowing us to do? Even if everything went perfect and, we got everything, nothing's gonna be generated till next year, at the very earliest. So I mean, there's nothing gonna happen for the next, at least 6 months, if not a year. We would, I would think at some point, we would like to maybe come back and even manage the park that's down over the hill with that money that we would raise, because it would be open to the county residents and everything, and the upkeep of that and everything would fall under that also. One thing I looked at down there at that park, whether that board would decide to put a pool out there, or put a pool at all, or put a pool down at the other park, might be asking for, about 100 feet to the north edge of that existing property there, that, there's a building on the very north edge of it. There's an area there that, there's just a road that goes around that building on the south side. There is.
You're talking about the old lake, this old city?
No,
Bolden?
New City Lake out here.
New City Lake, there's the country club is right here.
Yeah, I see where it is. But
Oh,
The
what
last
building are you
deal you're
talking
talking about, the last part.
The last part.
The park down here, Miller
Oh,
Park.
okay.
No, Miller Park, to the north, there is an area there between the fence and, I don't know what that building's for.
The old
Don't remember
It's
what
just a
Do you-
story, it's what?
the lower barn, it's just. The lower barn. Yeah, there's about 100 feet in there that's nothing there, you know, that would be something, when the group of us was looking at it, if we did something with that down there, like putting a pool in or something, might be good to, bring that fence back to the north a little bit if the city allowed that and everything, to, put the pool up, that direction. But again, all these things would be contingent on a board that, would be made up of, county residents that would represent the different areas of the county. I would think that a board seat on it would be from the council here also, and a board seat would be from the commissioner's office, that would, have say in that.
Would they have to give the land over to the county in order for that to be
No.
fly?
No.
So who would we be giving the land over to for use?
Nobody, you guys wouldn't maintain the land, you'd maintain ownership of the land, you would. It would be nothing different than what the country club had out there. It would be the same exact thing. You guys retain ownership of the land, you would be doing and I just throwing numbers out, a 5 or 10 year lease on that ground that would say that the board would have the right to manage that ground, to put the ball fields there, to do those things that the board decided.
Do you have any plans for the country club building then at this point?
The country club building, to me, would be the concession stand. It would also be a meeting spot for 4-H, for any group in the county that wanted to do that. You know, if there was events going on that was open to the community, could be put out there. You know, there's lots of area in there to use that for. It would also be the bathrooms for the ball fields there. It would.
Quite a ways from the ball diamonds, really.
That's what I was thinking.
It'd be what?
Quite a
Kind of-
distance
kind of a
from the ball
distance.
fields.
It's not.
And this one's close to the road, is that not close to the road?
No, it's quite a few feet. It's quite a few feet, and
About 300
that
feet from the farthest
yeah.
plate.
The area there, the red area would be the actual chain link fence. It wouldn't be the actual ball field.
Oh, okay.
The ball field falls within that because
Okay.
there's quite a bit of room between the baseline and the foul line and the chain link fence along there. Same way with the other one. I talked to Greg Fast at one point. He's now retired, but Greg said that there was no issue with the sewer out there because it was an existing sewer that worked, and as long as it worked, it's a sewer that's okayed and everything. He said there was no problem with that. He also said that if for some reason, and I'm going way out on this, but let's just say that they put a pool out there, if this board did, that the water would be, if they use chlorine, which most pools do not use chlorine anymore, they use salt water. And if they did use chlorine, the chlorine would be flushed out periodically, like weekly, to flush the filters, and it would go into like a lagoon. And he said within 2 to 3 days that chlorine would be gone out of the water because it evaporates. No different than if you don't do something with the pool in a few days, there's no chlorine left in there. And he said that it could be, you know, put back in the lake because it would be inert water at that point. It would. But most pools have gone to the salt water, which what I've studied up on is it's about the saline of a teardrop. It's not tasteable or anything, but somehow with electroplating and everything, they make chlorine out of calcium chloride that's in the water that makes its own chlorine, and you don't have to test it, you don't have to do so many things because it reverts back to its original form within a few hours, and it runs back through and does the exact same thing over and over.
I'm not opposed to seeing ball diamonds go out there, but I'd like to see 2 full-size ball diamonds go out. I would also like to see a walking trail, like you were saying. I'd like to see camping, and I'd like to see the pool out there, for various reasons.
I think we could do, where I put the small field, I think we could put a full-size field in there, but we would need to make it where the kids can use it as a kids one. So I mean, I don't know if it would be doing something for an outfield fence, you know, because this one's gonna be, I can't remember, 300 feet deep, I think, and this one here is like 150 feet deep.
Well, you could do one as a softball field, which you could use as a little kid's field, like a temporary fence or something.
Yeah, we'd have to do something in the
Yeah.
outfield, but yeah, I just moved that all the way down because that's as far north as you could go, because right there it begins to drop off to the lakeside. You could bring it all the way back, home base back up almost to the road like the other side is. And this one over here could be moved away from the road a little bit. These 2 buildings right here that are touching the edge of that red, those things are junk. There's no roof left on them, the siding's coming off, there's no floor in them. Most of the doors are fiberglass or gone. I mean, before the country club ceases to exist, we were ready to take those down. We were. And any of those buildings, other buildings, could easily be moved, because the only one that's got a concrete floor in it is the south one on the very west end is where the lawn tractor is, and that's the only one that's got concrete in it. The rest of them are just sitting there. They are.
The reason why I mentioned the pool going out there was the fact that I'm hoping that other than just recreate this area, I'm hoping to draw in more recreation as far as other teams. If we did it kind of the way that I've been thinking about, we could set those up, we could move the pool toward this area, and that would be one of the few ballparks in the area that had a pool you could get traveling teams to, and kids could, that would be part of the admission fee, playing the traveling ball field. Right now, as far as I have heard in the last couple of years, there's been teams out of Knox County, the majority of the team out of Knox County, going playing Philadelphia as their home field, because we don't have such a good field down on the hill. Facilities are, I mean, again, I've not got any hard numbers together, but I would like to do that. And I've talked to other aspects as far as like 4-H, maybe putting out certain members of 4-H, putting out, leaving this area here for camping, going on north towards Stoffers, and putting in a 4-H pavilion there.
Where are you talking, leaving open for camping?
This next one to the north.
Here you go.
He's got the area.
Just right across the bay area,
Yeah.
and then on it for the 4-H.
Right, this area here, we would leave open for camping. Then you have this ditch that comes down here, you kind of do a cul-de-sac. And then this area up here, we could put 4-H pavilions, camping. And our ideas are like that, as far as that goes. I would just like to have them all out there. I don't want to call it the Edina City Complex. I would like to pull the whole community together.
That's why when we were talking about it, we talked about the Knox County Community Parks
Right.
Association.
Right.
Because, you know, there's, anytime we try to do something in the county, there's always
There's animosity between cities, right.
And this thing would be open to everybody, and it would be
Right.
located out there. When I talked to John one other time about this, John seemed to think that this would be like writing grants or anything, that the city-owned property that's leasing to a board that's set up, and the county funding it would be like the ideal kind of funding thing that they would look like they would want to do, rather than a city thing for city, and you know, this would be open to everybody in the county. But my thing was, and that's why I wanted to present the ball fields first, you know, $72,000 a year coming in from like a 1/4 cent sales tax.
What are you gonna,
It's going
what
to
are you
happen.
gonna tax, so is the,
It'd be a sales tax just on anything, the county just did one on, for the deal,
Right.
and, it's on anything that is defined, it's not equipment, it's on, like vehicles, groceries.
It was approved by the voters, though.
Yes.
It was actually not, the county didn't do it, the voters
Yeah,
did it.
No, the county had to ask for it.
They had to ask the
They're
voters.
required. Yeah, and this is the same thing, the county again would have to ask for this, and then we would have to go out and work to see if it would get passed. If it didn't get passed, then, I mean, we're back to where we are right now. I mean, the ball fields would still be down there, and our main thing tonight is just looking at, are you guys willing to allow us to do this? I mean, I hate to go to the next step and present something that isn't, that we're not even, don't even have this, you know.
Who is us?
A group that's the Knox County Community Parks Association, the group.
Do they have names, or is it how many people are in it?
Right now, it's a bunch of people that's got kids in the ball games
Well,
and everything.
well, parents.
no, I like the idea.
Yeah. But, you know, it's one of those things that not everything's gonna happen day one, you know.
Correct.
I think the first thing would happen is my hope would be the first thing happens is the ball fields would go out there. The next thing would be whatever money's left to start, you know, having a plan, and I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a 5 to 10 year plan that we're gonna be sitting there looking at. I mean, I don't want everybody to think that if everything went great next year, there'd be everything done out there, because.
Correct, we went through this, the meeting, and it,
Yes.
9 months, 12 months before you see any revenue from the tax, which.
And I don't have that necessarily that issue. Before, when we did this, because we started this, and I think I went and talked to Rick a little bit about it, and this is way before he's even on the council or anything. We went and talked and thought about doing this, and I talked to Davey, and John was involved and everything, and we had talked to several of the contractors in the area, and they all seemed to think if we were going to do this, that it would be a group thing, that they'd come in and help us with it and everything, that we're not talking about, especially the ball fields. I don't think you'd be talking about that much to get them up and going.
So you're not expecting help from the city?
No, the
To do
park,
any of the work?
if this passed, the park board would live inside their budget.
And who would determine who's on the board? Would it be the people who was on there?
The people of the county that represents, like if they divide the county up, and just like the ambulance district, somebody from this area, somebody from this area, and they vote on those.
So they'd be on the ballot, just like the ambulance district?
Yes.
School board, all that, council? That's
So the
interesting.
council, I would think, would pick somebody, or the mayor would be, or whatever. He needs one more.
Throw it under the bus.
That's right.
He needs
And,
one more thing to be on. Yeah.
But I would think the commissioners would pick somebody to be on there if they're willing to go along with this, or assign somebody. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to, I guess the board could, but they'd be speaking for you guys. But again, it's not something that'll happen tomorrow. It'll be something we're gonna have to go to the next step and ask them to put that on the ballot.
They're going gangbusters in Herdland right now. Did you know about that? Right now, today, well, not as we speak, but this morning and tomorrow morning, they're building new bathrooms. They're putting in a sand volleyball court. They've expanded the beach quite a bit. They're talking about running power to more of the Herdland Lake is. They're going to bring in brand new playground equipment. It's going to be.
I don't probably need to be taught that much more about this. I want to see something go in there.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last 8 years, I've probably benefited the most out of the Dorn Lake than anybody. I mean, I've dedicated more than, well, this year would have been the 8th or 9th year, I went and figured out the other night. I really just don't, it doesn't deserve to be a hayfield, it needs to be something for the community to come together as a whole community to use. So, I mean,
I
I
think
would
so
like,
too.
like Jeff, I would like to see the bowl diamonds going out there, I'd like to see a walking trail. I'd like, Mr. Colton's worked so hard under these trees to put a kind of a picnic area.
I think there'd be multiple shelter houses around there that people could use.
Be great.
Everywhere, you know.
That would be
It
great.
wouldn't just be like one area, it would be everywhere out there. Yeah. And I know that there's some obstacles. You know, the negatives I've heard is the kids can't ride their bicycles out there. Well, I took care of the pool out here for 5 years. Kids don't ride bicycles. They don't go out there. Parents would drive in, open
Our
the
kids
doors,
do.
kick kids out, and pick them back up later.
I kicked my friend Jerry Wood, they walked the fence.
You know, the water's edge, I don't think is an issue because the Bering Country Club
Our
has
kids do.
more of an issue over there with more people along the water's edge and don't have an issue. I do think the traffic up here would probably be a problem, and we would probably want to put a short chain link fence along there so that some kids wouldn't be out there, but at the same time, parents need to be responsible for their own kids. I mean,
If we
I
did
don't
put
think
the, if we
anything-
did put the pool out here, with your proposal, would there be somebody there to be staffed?
Yes, there would be a lifeguard there. My idea is it'd be like Kirksville, where, you know, you'd pay a minimal fee of like $1 a day or something to, you're not gonna get where it's $0.
Correct.
But I don't think $1 a day would hurt anybody in Kirksville. I think they have passes for a certain amount of time, but it's minimal, and the parks department up there runs it and everything. The part of the maintenance on this would be mowing the area and everything, unless Mike wants to run out there and keep that mowed too.
I'm good, but you know, I can help in times of need, yes.
But yeah, I've always thought that if the pool was out there, and there's plenty of room to even put the pool over here by the country club to the north of it, there's quite a bit of area. There's area over here along the parking lot, you know, lots of area there and things. I do think that the parking lot will have to be expanded a little bit, but the ball field will allow for that. The way they're designed and everything would allow for that. Because, I mean, there's no parking, or I don't think there's any parking down at the fields right now. People park on that road. And you can get quite a few cars in that parking lot. If you notice in that parking lot, I think there's a mower and a tractor. I think that's Eric's.
Yeah, it seems to be, yeah. I know the year that was mowed.
But this very south part over here, I don't know if anybody realizes it, but that's the county road that goes straight across the lake before the lake was built. And that's all gravel all the way down through there, pretty deep. On the very south edge.
Right here where it's mowed up against Joseph Bowl.
Yeah, he actually mows,
He
is
actually
mowing
mows
the
the
road.
road.
Yeah, but the road is, but that goes all the way down through there. That's why I thought over in there, there's a flat spot all the way down through there that you could put campers and things down through there if you wanted to, or even clear on down around that end. Because it doesn't drop off until you go a little bit to the north there.
So you don't think it's flatter up this way by Stalkers for
It
ball
is.
diamonds?
I think it is, but the problem is that you're taking everybody away from what we have to start with.
The center.
Yeah, if we didn't have anything to start with, I would say go up to Stouffer's Inn and do everything up there. But we have too much, you know, we've got buildings, we've got the country club itself, may not be the best parking lot, but we got started one. And I ran over this. If you go on Google Earth, you can run over it and see the footage. You know, by what you've gone out there and looked at, you probably wouldn't believe this, but I don't think there's a 5-foot difference in that whole ball field over there, and there's less on the north side. The biggest part of the hill is on up toward the road a little bit, and And, where it starts dropping off is beyond the outfield on both ways. Cause the little field is the, ninth green, and that's where the drop off begins, cause the ninth green's on level green.
You see all those tracks out there, Renee, you asked me why I didn't do that one.
Yeah.
I can tell you who's there.
I know where they are.
What sure looks good this year, you seen what they did the other day?
Yeah, I did.
It does look nice.
So yeah, this is the initial thing, you know, the next one to the north, you know, would be something that could expand to, cause I really don't think it's big enough to do any, you know, I'm guessing that the property sometime might be developed for some reason, for business or something, you know, hopefully, but I don't think it lays and it's a good enough piece that would do that. If you was gonna build something like, I don't know, some business come in here and manufacture something, and you was wanting to give them a piece of property, they'd probably more likely want that bigger piece up there by scoffers.
I'm not opposed to maybe entertaining the idea. I just want to, you and I have discussed it, and I've had a few other offers and ideas since then I'd like to explore more of it. It's up to the board. As far as offers, it's pretty much the same thing, only the city would own it. The city would maintain it.
If this goes through, the city would, I guess, own the land. I don't know about, I guess
It'd
it'd
be
be
just like the golf course again.
Yeah.
I mean,
It would be managed, you know,
my only fear is people are voted in and we're voted in. Some people try to get voted in for malicious activities, and I don't wanna see it go that way. I would like to see it just kinda be, I'd like to see an organization together, but to pull it together and maintain it, I would like to see it be its own entity versus, I mean, similar to kind of what you're saying, I guess, but not,
But the
not elected officials.
well, the only thing that I think that, I don't think there'd be any way to get a tax passed or anything like that if you didn't have representation from the county. I just don't think you can, you know, it'd be like if a group of us got together and said we were gonna do this, and we go to them and say, we want the money to do this. I think to get any of that money, you're gonna have a board that is elected or
Well,
something.
I agree, but I would like to see it be nominated from the boards, from the city councils. The outlying boroughs and the city councils is what I'm thinking. That way, everybody has an equal vote. This, whatever money this brings in is its own entity. We all, kinda like the water district deal, I mean, we all have a vote there. We elect a head, we go on, I mean, it's.
Well, that's kind of what he's saying we would do.
Correct.
Yeah, but we would,
They would do.
but like, if you just did the cities, my fear is that we'd immediately run into a problem of, I don't live in the city, and I own a business here, but I don't have any say on any taxes that go on for my business here in town. I don't have any say on the streets in front of my building, I don't have any say on any of that stuff. I'm not being represented on this if I let the cities do all the nominating. It's gonna be the people in each city is gonna be the ones running this, not the county.
So how would you propose to get the board together? Would it be nominated to begin with or voted first?
I would think it would be nominated from, like right now, if we did it, it'd be a group that got together and we would nominate people and try to get them from each area. But then as soon as it went in, you'd have to go into an election and maybe 2 people from each area, but the first person for that area would serve a, say, a 2-year term. The next person would serve a 3-year term, so you get it on like a 3-year reoccurring, but you wouldn't have 2 people new in the same area anytime, you know? Kind of like what the aldermen are done and everything, but the first one you always have to set up so that somebody's gonna have a short tenure and somebody's gonna have a long tenure on the first election. They are. But I think if we, right now, we set and we went through and we're trying to pick people and we pretty well got somebody from each area that we thought would be good for that. And
We've
cause
discussed
we're
it with 4-H and FFA and.
no, I haven't discussed it. I did at one time, and 4-H was not on board with moving out of town.
I have discussed it with some 4-H members and they were for it.
Yeah, there is some, but when I did it, the majority was absolutely not.
And you've already got the board figured out?
Yeah. This is in the
Doing
very
something
first step.
with nothing is, I mean.
The very
better than
first.
$350 a year.
This is the very first step, and like I say, you know, if you guys say, yes, we're interested and we'd be willing to let you guys do this, then we're going to step 2, which is go to the commissioners and ask that. If they say no, it's dead again. You know, if they say okay, then it goes to the August August election. If the voters say no, it's dead again. You know, this is a step-by-step deal. It's not anything that is going to just get pushed through. I would think that for the kids of the county that we would all be willing to do this, but you know, I don't know. Right now, the county isn't asking for any taxes. They're asking for a renewal, but they're not asking for any taxes. They've got one that I think expires. And again, this one would expire at some point. It would and have to be re-upped.
Because
What would you guys, I mean, what are you thinking? I don't wanna put all my eggs in one basket, and if it gets all the way to the election and we vote and they turn it down, I want plan B in motion. I don't like just putting all my eggs in one basket. Cause this, from what I've been figuring, and I've talked to you and Ryan and others about, I think if we started at our own, it could be so sustainable itself. I've talked to the community center about going in and trying to figure out a way to tie grant money into it as far as the walking trail and the pool go. I mean, that would be plan B, I guess, or this would be, or vice versa. I don't think this is a bad idea. In fact, I think this is one of the best uses that we can do for our community. We cannot pull business in very well. One thing we do have is recreation. Talking to the people we talk to at MML, this is one of the golden gems we have. We need to try to push it. There are cities out there that are struggling to try to make it, that have 3,500, what they said, bedroom, night count, 3,500 people in town per night, only 15,500 through the day, and they're struggling. We have 1,174. I don't know how many more we pull in, but I would like to see, I think if we had camping, that would help, but one's not gonna be enough. We're gonna have to do 3 things to 4 things. Ty, you go and you show swine. How many people go to those swine shows?
A lot.
Rough figure, 200 people?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you don't have.
200
You don't have
entries.
that, you don't have that roughly somewhere down.
Well, even if they did do 4-H, they could still camp and drive into town. It's pretty close for them.
Right,
You know.
we're looking at commerce to ourselves, but how many swine shows do you go to a year?
Well, this year we've already hit 20
20.
in about 2 months, so.
Did you ever have a complex that you had a pool? You go and you camp, correct?
In places you do, yeah.
where it's available, you know, some places don't have it, right?
Correct.
Where you have it, yeah, people use it.
So when you go and you camp, sometimes you bring your stuff, sometimes you buy stuff you forget.
Right.
You're bringing commerce to that town. I kinda think that this, I mean, the hopes of leaving it open for a business to come in, it's pretty slim to nil. We're off the main interstates. One thing we have is recreation. Everybody wants a piece of Mayberry and we are it.
And especially this piece. I mean, of all that land out there, if you're looking for something to build on, they're probably not looking at this piece down at this time.
Correct.
Only thing, Eric, what you're proposing, I don't know that the city has the funds.
I didn't say it would be just city funds.
Okay.
It would be something similar to what he's doing. The city would kind of maintain, and we would put together another board, kind of like what he's talking. I just don't necessarily want to, and nothing against Jeff or anybody else, but I'm not saying I want two options of this. I want to see it succeed. If it's his way, great. If it's our way, fine. Just as long as the community gets the betterment.
The community or the county?
Community, county community.
County, okay. I think you said
Because,
county.
well, we're a quarter of the county, the city is. Everybody else feels ostracized. We don't need to do that. We need to come together as a whole community.
So I think this is probably the best fourth option.
It sounds like it could be, but I also want Plan B.
But we can do plan, I mean, this is ahead of us right now. I mean,
It's ahead of us right now.
So then we'll have Plan B later on, I mean, we can start looking at Plan B, but this is like,
People might welcome it more so being through a tax dollar and county as the city doing it. It might be something that the county would come more so.
I don't know as if we'd want to saddle you with Miller Park just yet.
No, I
Well,
didn't
no,
say,
that's not.
my whole thing was that, eventually, we might want that. Not that we want it right now.
Right.
But, I mean, there might be, you know, we get down the road and, we have funds to do other things. There might be other things we would talk about doing, but it would still be in the county, you know. It might be doing things elsewhere, but.
You say a sales tax for 5 to 10 years, is that what you said, or
Yeah.
do you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
any sales tax, any tax you do has a sunset. It doesn't matter, you can't put one on forever. The county's right now got one, I don't know what it is. Its sunset is this year. They're gonna ask for a renewal of it in August, and then it starts the cycle again, and it'll go 5 years, and then it gets asked again.
If you do a pool, you won't generate enough money to fund it.
I think we can. I think if you hire a company, I mean, you know, it's just like the city. If the city decided to put up a shed down here and Ty and them was gonna put it up and everything, you guys would spend very little on it. If you guys went to St. Louis and hired an engineer to come in and build that building, you guys could afford it.
Oh, they do for really much.
Well, no, they just, everything would.
One thing about the pool though, I don't necessarily want to see a short season pool. I would rather have a building over it if we would pursue this. Reason being, I don't know how many times through the winter, my kids drive me up the wall wanting to go swimming. If we had something in the county that could be used, we could tie the community center on it. They could offer water aerobics, we could offer a 2-hour. I mean, I want something that is going to be sustainable, and as far as a short-term pool, no, they're not sustainable. If you can put it inside, climate controlled.
I don't know if you're talking about a lot of dollars. I mean, Kirksville struggles with theirs, because they try to maintain it year-round and everything, and it's indoor and everything.
You're talking about a different kind of building than what I'm talking about, though. You're talking about a red iron steel building. You're talking about all the frills when you go swimming. I'm talking about a pool that is more like a lap pool, that there might be a hot tub off to the side and changing rooms. I'm not talking anything elaborate. I'm talking something that is sustainable.
The one out there at the aquatic center is, it's got lanes and it's got a hot tub in there, and it's, you know, it's covered and they heat it year round, and you also have to heat the water and everything, in it. And they struggle with it, they do. Especially year round, you know. But I mean, I don't have any problem with that, it's just, again, it's gonna be one of them things where we get into it and we do the first step, and then we look at the pool and we start into it. And I mean, it might be a thing where it, you know, we have to wait 4 or 5 years to do that. I don't know of any way that we're gonna be able to just jump in and build everything and get it done and then go. I think if you did a 1 cent sales tax, I don't think you would get it all, done that quick. I don't, but my thing is, I think that this is doable, and I think that it's, it'll progress along to get everything. My fear is that if you want to get it all done up front and you want and I'm just going out, I'm not saying any numbers here, but a 1 cent sales tax, I think it's dead before it goes to voters. I don't think they would pass that. But they might, I mean,
What do we need to do?
Any board that I can see is bound by the money that they can bring in. And I don't know what any other group has thought about how they would get money or anything. But if it has anything to do with a county sales tax or property tax, it's gonna be tied to some type of board that's electable.
So how soon do you need the answer to get on the ballot for the county if they pass it this year?
Well, when do you need to go to the commissioners?
I figured we'd go to the commissioners Friday.
Weird, you think? I think this is a big decision.
Well, I think it's a big decision.
Well,
I'm
we're
not
gonna wait.
opposed to seeing what the commissioners tell him.
Right, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a go, I'm not saying it's a not. I wanna explore both options.
Yeah, and I won't go to the commissioners until I have a go, because I don't know how to go up there and say, I might have something, but I might not have something, but this is what I'd like to do, but it may not go that way. You know, I'd rather go up and say, this is what our plan is, this is what we've got, this is what I think we can do. And, let them look at it just like we're doing here, and them saying, yeah, we're behind it, or no, we're not interested in doing that. And,
Well, Eric, if nothing else, couldn't his organization just do the ball fields he's talking about?
Start with the ball
Start with
field.
the
We're
ball
not gonna
fields.
do everything.
Right, at one time.
Can't do it all at once.
So this is a good idea,
Do the
they
ballpark
can
this
go
year,
do it
couple years,
now.
maybe the pool
Well, then
or
the
the
city starts.
The problem is you're gonna have this organization controls this, and they're gonna be pissy with this organization that controls this, and this organization controls that. It's divided.
Well, at
We
least they'll
don't
wanna do
need to
something.
divide it.
No.
It needs to be one organization, either way. That is the problem.
and I don't think, let's just say you gave us to go ahead and do this, and we got it going through there. I don't know why a board, if you guys came along and said, hey, we'd like to go over here, we'd like to do X, Y, Z and everything, what do you think? I can't imagine this board being against it unless the city came and said, we want you to do something over here, but we want you guys to figure out a way to pay for it, you know? It's, the board would be trying to live within their budget to do what they can do. And, you know, to mandate that we wanna develop that next hill and you figure out a way to pay for it.
The problem with that though, Jeff, would be the same problem Edina has. Is it's the biggest kit in the county, everybody wants to pull one. And after a while it gets sold. You can't just keep asking for more money for the same similar things.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not saying that we would ever ask the city for anything, that this is asked,
But
we're gonna live with.
how would we go and develop this next hill? We would have to ask for a tax. And then the voters would be irritated because, hey, we give you this, now you're wanting this? Why couldn't we have done it all together?
Yeah, if they're willing to do that, yeah, I agree. I just don't see how you can ask for a tax big enough to do everything at once. I think it has to be something that you can.
I think it needs to be studied before we say any either way.
That's what I'm saying, I think it's an awful big decision to say tonight, just present it to us. It sounds like a good thing though, but I
I
think
mean, we
it's-
just did have the lake property thrown in our lap.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, we've had 2 offers. I wanna see more studies on this, please.
That's fine, but, I mean, we're putting, I'll just say this, I don't know how long you guys are thinking about. You know, if you go 2 or 3, 4 months, you're talking about another year. And you're
I
talking about
understand
another year
that.
down the
I don't
road.
wanna go half-cocked at it and get it half done, and that's where we're at. I wanna go full on and be done.
Because
I'm an all or nothing kinda guy.
what might happen with our group then is we're gonna continue on, but go somewhere else, is what, because we've looked at 2 other places. This was the greatest, but there's a couple other places that, you know. could be
Because
done.
we've asked for more studies, you're gonna go on.
No.
That's what it just
No,
sounded like,
No,
Jeff.
no, I've already talked to people about, on this board about the different places that we've thought about, and I'm not bringing up anything new. I'm not. This just happened to be the best one, and this happened to be, the only reason I'm presenting it to you is because this one you guys have the say in. If I picked the one that you guys didn't own or anything, I don't know why I would come to you guys and ask you for your permission to let me put it somewhere else. Because one of the places was down on the north end of town, and one place is out toward the high school that is more than big enough to put ball fields. Wouldn't be big enough to put a pool or anything, but it is big enough. And, I mean, the ball fields have been an issue for
20-some years.
forever. Yeah, it was a great thing that the city allowed it to be put down there, and, you know, it continues to serve its purpose and everything, but at some point, but I don't have a deal with waiting, I got put off 3 years on this because I came to some of the city before, and I
We
got put off.
discussed that, you're not getting put off for that reason. I wanna see more than just the carrot. I wanna see the stick behind it.
So are you wanting something else from us, or not?
Yeah, I would like to see a proposal of what you wanna do, and I would like to see a unity of the community behind you before we say yes or no.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to say that, yeah, I've got people behind me that wanna do it, but I wanna see hard facts.
Okay.
Because
So
I
you
like
want me-
facts.
So you want me to bring people in here next month? Is
You
that what
don't
you're
have to
saying?
bring people in here next month. I wanna see names, signatures beside their name,
Okay,
what they wanna do,
okay,
how they wanna support it,
okay.
and where we're gonna start.
The sales tax is gonna support it, doesn't it?
Now,
Well, that's right, but we gotta have the people, I mean, I don't wanna be the other side of the coin from what you were led and misled. If it's gonna go through, I wanna see it go.
yeah,
I don't
like
wanna
said-
see out the gate and fall. I wanna see gone.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know,
Just more steps.
if you could, I was gonna say, if you could figure out a way to skip the commissioners and the people and go on, each step is gonna be a. up or
I've
down.
talked to the commissioners already.
And it's a go?
They would be backing us in whatever we decided to do for the most part. They wouldn't go out on a limb and say it right off, but yeah, they wanna see something go out there for the community as a whole of Knox County also. Cause they're in the same mindset as we are, or I am, that if we sit here, we're
Yeah.
withering on the vine.
But, the group I've been dealing with, this kinda is their proposal, this is their starting point, the kind of money that we're talking about bringing in is what we thought we could do this with. You know, if you're saying, go back and develop that next hill and come back and tell us how much
That's
money
not what
you
I'm
need.
saying. I wanna see who's behind it.
You just wanna see the people,
I wanna know that they're there.
okay,
Well, the taxpayers are gonna be behind it.
No, I wanna know that the people starting this organization
Okay.
are there, they're not phantom.
okay, that's not a problem.
Would it be such thing we need to have just a special meeting regarding that? Because I do think if we do Jeff's route, we need to know, August would be a good time to get on the ballot since there's nothing else there.
How many weeks was that, 10 weeks?
Yeah.
So,
It'd be
you know,
done
it's coming,
pretty
it's coming.
quickly
That's what I'm
on the
saying, it has to
ballot.
be done to get on the ballot.
Here it is, the middle of June.
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, jobs, first anyway.
That's the other question. I mean, if we have to give a yes or no that, yeah, we'll let you do this tonight, that's a lot for us to digest.
Yeah,
It's a big project.
yeah. That's, like I say, it's entirely up to you guys, that's why we brought it to you first. We can't go any further until I get past you guys. I can bring everybody in here, we kinda talked about it, didn't think that this was the necessary thing to bring everybody, but we thought the next step would be the harder one, and,
But you have to realize we just got notice of it, and then handing this on top of it. It's a big decision to decide within an hour,
Yeah.
I feel like, Jeff.
I think on this, I think you guys always had the property. I mean, it was always yours, it wasn't just given to you today, it was always there, but yeah, this here is a big thing, and I don't have any problem with going back and getting signatures of people. How many signatures do you want?
I just wanna know who's on your board and.
We don't have a board, that's the thing.
Who's in your group?
Okay. If I have 20 people that come and do that, is that okay, or?
You can hand out my cell phone number, I don't care, I just wanna know who's fine.
Okay, fine, I just need to know when to stop. Well, you know, if I get 100
Come on.
signatures, okay. When do you wanna set a meeting to meet all of them? Or do you want me to sign a petition?
You don't have to sign a petition, if you want a meeting, we will write one up.
Okay.
Otherwise, drop by here tomorrow, or the next day, or whenever you can get it done at your convenience.
Okay.
Because we actually always told them how short meeting we had.
Right, I mean, it's not that hard.
No, I just wanna be clear on, I don't wanna get a bunch of signatures, come in here and say, well, no, this is the next step, I want you to do.
I don't think any of us at this table are opposed to it at all. We just wanna know more about what's going on before we say yes or no.
Not a problem.
It's like wading off into the creek and it's running a bank full and not know which way to go.
Get my,
You didn't want those back, did you?
They're for your keeping.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hopefully we get something going.
Well, it's been me fishing, so it's good. It's been me fishing for the most part. Everybody I've talked to is in agreement. We need to do something. And we've not got it together yet, but we're working on it, so. Aye?
I have nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. Have a normal month for us. Took mowing's done. I'd say the first round of potholing was done. We went over, I'm sure we probably missed one or two here or there. So trash route seems to be going good. So I guess any questions for me? Like I said, it's kind of a normal May for us.
Todd, over down by the old Baptist church down my street there, Steve come and put some stuff in there, but it's really gotten really bad again. And there's oils coming up, and you're driving it in your drive.
Right.
I mean, the oil is oozing the last
On
one
the
day.
chip and seal?
The rocks are gone.
Well, they're
Settling.
it's gonna sound bad. It's doing what it's supposed to do. We'll just have to come back over and chip over top of it.
Okay,
But that's what the heat's gonna do to it.
I
It's
mean,
gonna draw all that oil
the
out.
grease is coming up when it gets hot in the afternoon, it's really bad.
That's what it's gonna do to it.
And then, of course, that other spot where he
Right,
patched.
and that's the only thing I know he does, put some material in it.
He put some in it, but it was just such a big area, I don't know. I mean, I've had people complain, I'm not just for myself.
Right.
I'm talking other people that complain.
We can put some more stuff in it. I mean, that's the only option we have to. It's gonna keep settling some if the deal is with it.
Well, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of other streets also.
Right.
Do you have any cold patch material ordered?
I haven't ordered any. I mean, last I knew the quarry still had a little bit out there, but we hadn't got any until we was ready to start patching some. I mean, cold patch, unless you're shooting oil, is not gonna bind to nothing. So, and like I said, when I talked to O'Laughlin last time, he said they were planning on coming back up. But I'm still, to me, I'm still a month or two away from doing that. I want to get these sewer guys out of town, and just like Renee said, if I go to throwing oil down the streets now and starting to try and chip and seal or anything like that, we're gonna be fighting it all over town. The heat is gonna pull all that oil right back out.
you had informed me that you gotta have it hot in the day and cool of the night to get it to where it'll seal over
Well, I mean,
to an extent.
yeah, I mean, you need the oil warm, of course, to work.
Right.
But
You need a gelling factor, the chili of the evening.
in an
Need
essence.
more of a gravelish.
Right. See, that's where we're
Something
at.
to seal your chip.
Right.
Like
And see, that's where I don't know what we'll get into for sure when it comes time to start sealing a little bit. Because they tried chipping these roads. That's where we have river rock now.
Yeah,
When they
didn't
come
work.
back, they tried to chip them, but there's so much lime on our rock out here that the lime was soaking up all the oil, which in essence is just balling up. So that's why they went with the river rock, because there's no lime in it. We didn't have the dust factor. But
Did you go any further as far as they would allow us to price at the previous price?
the
in order?
Laughlin's.
No, the oil company.
Oh, he said he's holding them 2 loads with you. I told him that he was gonna hold for 2 loads for me on what we had.
Great.
That's what I talked to him 2 months ago, is what he told me. So I told him it was coming pretty later in the summer before I was ready, and he said he could hold that price for me, so. And I just told him probably a couple loads for now, because I don't wanna get a bunch spoken for, and then something happened, we not be able to use it, and be stuck with buying a bunch of oil that we can't spray, you know, put on, so.
I had one concern about cinders. Has that been addressed?
Somebody said something about a pile of Lucky's or something.
By Lucky's.
That's what I had heard, yeah.
Yeah, we swept something up, there wasn't really anything there, but what little dirt was there was some dirt stuff up there, we cleaned it up, so,
Great.
yeah, I assume that's what you're talking about.
Left side of the lake, the right side's mowed, but left side's not.
Left side of the lake.
Like you pull into the gravel road, that gravel road, you guys mowed it, it looks good on the right, but on the left side, you can see the poles and that, I mean.
Yeah, it's not really ours.
It's not conducive. You're at a 2-to-1 slope to slide down the road.
Well, I mean, are you talking about the dam, or are you talking about on the south side of the dam?
South side.
Yeah, see, south side, that's not ours. Or to my knowledge, it's Larry Clucky's.
Oh, pardon, no.
The dam?
It's
Off-
ours.
Off on the south side of it?
But you can't get nothing on it to mow it unless you're.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
all
Larry always mows right there around his fence, but as far as the rest of the dam.
It's yours. In fact, with my old fence, it looks rickety through there. Everything south of there's, or from the dam, there's yours.
Well, I knew the big part of the dam was. I thought up towards the road it come a bit.
No, it goes over
But that
there.
part he mows.
Right.
But you're talking about under the fence, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean,
Post-
no,
there's
not
no
the
way you can
fence,
get that
but I
unless you
mean,
spray
like,
it.
you go going up gravel road, right on the left side, it's, you can't, I mean.
Right. The post and
Yeah, posted, yeah.
we can't get on it. We did about,
60.
I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we tried to sickle mow it. I did sickle mow most of it, but it was sliding pretty good. And as far as the north side, we're still attempting to mow it, and I don't know, it's gonna cease one of these days, cause somebody's gonna get hurt on it.
It looks good though.
The dam's, it's steep though, I mean, the mower slides the whole time you go across there. So it's gonna turn to a liability.
I was asked about putting trash cans at the lake, a couple trash cans, for doing trash. People around the lakes, the people don't, I mean, who live by it, been picking up trash, don't know where they're picking up all the trash.
Problem with setting them out there, somebody will start piling trash out there and we'll have a bigger problem. Yeah, it'll be a bigger problem if we do that.
Home trash.
Oh, yeah.
So, probably shouldn't try that. The bathrooms down at City Park, there's a door that sticks, I guess. What can we do about that?
I don't know. We've tried.
They need new doors.
We had, possibly. I mean, it'd be a start, but I don't know, getting them to frame it, it's all concrete around framed up and it's settled. So you're gonna have to get a door to fit. I mean, that door, we did that door, we did it years ago. We took saws all to it and cut the edges off and trying to make it get in, and
It needs a new door, it needed one for some time.
And we'll need to look into that, I guess.
Bathrooms need to be cleaned too.
we had some over there just not too long ago, but I think
Bathroom hasn't been cleaned for how long?
Yeah, I noticed that too when I drove by, I could see
Filthy.
see a bunch of trash laying on the floor. I forgot about
We sent a guy over, not too awful long ago, but.
It has been cleaned out.
it. Yeah, it's
Two or
pretty
3
sweet.
months.
Oh, it's been sooner than 2 or 3 months, I can guarantee.
I know it has been.
It's been,
Christmas
it ain't been
ball-
on for 2 or 3
Huh?
months. It ain't been open for 2 or 3 months.
It has too.
It has,
All right.
it's June.
There's
2 or
stuff.
3 months puts you back in March,
We're
April.
not gonna get into an argument about when it was and when it wasn't. I mean, they're not clean, they need to be clean.
It's filthy.
In the summertime, they might wanna just
Once a
clean it out
week,
once
twice
a
a
week,
week.
yeah.
We do. We'll
Check
check.
it,
They need
yeah.
to be checked every morning in the summer.
Yeah, in the summertime, we work to clean it up, yeah.
So you want me to check them every day?
Yes, they need to be checked every day.
Okay.
We got ball games and practices and everything of it.
Takes about
No, he's talking about the city
No,
park.
these time
Let's
at
talk
Miller
about Miller
Park,
Park.
down below.
They have people that picnic down there and
Takes
stuff.
about 5-10 minutes. It's filthy. I've had calls on it.
Well, you know as well as I do how bad that bathroom get vandalized, so just keep that in mind.
Thanks for putting the nets in too, I
Well,
see they
we
got.
ain't gonna keep it clean, we got to put a lock on the door and just
Has
put a
it-
5-gallon bucket out there, I guess.
Has anybody checked the chains on the swings? That's the only other complaint I've heard.
We talked about their day, I guess we're just gonna replace them. I don't know when the last time they were replaced. It was brought to our attention that someone thought they were getting pretty thin, which they probably have, but they've been that way for a long time. But the only way I knew to is just buy a new chain and replace them all. So,
I think that probably ought to be looked into, because I mean, some kid goes to swinging and
oh, yeah, yeah.
that would not be good.
Right.
Well, since you brought that up, we need some chips put in the new playground, around the new playground.
The rotary, or you mean the rotary down here at Miller?
Yeah, inside the ties, I mean, when it was built, they were level
Right.
up against the ties and everything.
Are you gonna put chips, or you're talking wood chips? Yeah, I'd say it's probably been, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. I don't remember when we did put them in there last.
Cardwell, so Frank County would
He didn't last time, but that's where
probably,
we got them
where
at.
it would, I would guess.
Check in on that, that's worse, clean the bathrooms, check them daily, every other day, clean. I'd say that would be,
And parking stripes and the curbs need to be painted. Corner
Yeah.
fences are coming.
it is coming. We probably need to work on the streets before we attack that. I would like to see the parking stripes on before Corner Fest. Let's try to center it out as much as we can.
And I had a person from the Linville with a board from the Linville Cemetery, the trash ain't been dumped out there all year.
Linville's which side, south side?
Linville Cemetery.
Linville, the Catholic church is on the left, the south, Linville's on the corner.
Linville's on the north side.
There's 4 cans out there, guys had running over, that had been dumped over there.
Well, they've been dumped this year, I can promise you that, because we just had a conversation.
Whatever.
I'm just telling you, we'll get them,
Well,
if that's what it is, but,
They need to be.
I'm not gonna tell me they need to be picked up this year, because they've been out there 2 or 3 times. We hauled a bunch of rock out there for them,
Yeah, there was some rock.
and I know they got picked up, because Steve picked them up.
Yeah.
But we'll get them if they're not.
Sounds good.
From Mickey, Ty.
Thanks.
Thanks.
How are you, Mike?
I'm just fine, ready to go home. How about you guys?
We're getting there.
I don't have too much for you. Had, I think 3 or 4 days in May where we had some pretty good rain, so our inflow is still rather high, so we're waiting on that. Hopefully, of course, it's down the last 2 weeks. It's been down considerably because of the dry weather. But I don't have anything for you at the sewer plant necessarily. Margaret handed me this tonight. This is the service agreement for the SCADA system. It goes through, it's $105 quarterly. And I think Margaret said it just basically needed you guys to give the mayor or someone permission to sign the contract, and then obviously, if I sign the contract, we're agreeing for $105, and that, I believe this is the first bill, so that'll be part of your deal sent out.
Right.
Quarterly? $105 quarterly, so. Which is basically what that does is, that, basically what that is the SCADA system that we have, if they need to make an upgrade or something to the, SCADA system, for communication purposes or anything, that they'll go in and correct those, and that's all included in their servicing agreement. I guess that was all part of the, I would assume that, that was made to your attention, that there'd be a service agreement, just basically like the billing. We have a service agreement with the other computer systems and stuff that we have, so I didn't know much about it.
Right.
Till Margaret said tonight.
Goes down by, obviously,
Right.
we need to, what did I say, Margaret, support?
No, it would be new for the sewer plant because of the SCADA system.
Okay.
It would be a new thing.
Right, it's a new thing.
Does the SCADA system help you figure out why we got a 30% increase from last month to this month?
I'll have to look at it and see.
Because
We've got
the
some.
month before is 125.
We've got,
and this one is 155.
we've got some trending there that I can go back and look in the months on the SCADA system, go back and look through the,
It seems like the numbers keep going up, and I've got concerns about whether what we've done is gonna help us or not.
they're actually, and I agree with you as far as they're up from, April was 122 or 125%. And then this month is 150%.
And it has to do with rain.
So we're up. Well, and remember, we're still operating. This is May's, not June's. Right now, we're down a considerable amount because of the
Rough
rain.
estimate, what are you thinking?
We're probably running about 70%, 80% capacity right today at this moment. Out of that 220,000, we were running 141 is what we ran yesterday. So 60%, 65%, something like that is what we're running today.
Sounds better.
It is better. And I think some of what we're seeing too is they're doing a lot of jetting and cleaning.
Still, correct.
And so that's gonna, every
Keep running
thousands
that
of
right.
gallons that they put in there cleaning and jetting and running their systems through is adding to our issue too.
What about the water usage on the screen? Have you
We're-
got that adjusted?
We didn't adjust it. What I found out from the company, and I was pretty sure I informed the board of that, but they, we can shut the washout water off anytime we want. It's not a necessity.
Right, it comes on
It comes,
every so often.
right, what he recommended is if we're in a high flow time, is what he recommended is turning it on for like an hour a day, so it washes the screen off and then turn it off, and then tomorrow will be the same thing. So that's what I've been doing, is turning it off for 23 hours and turning it on for an hour and letting it wash the screen and make sure everything's good, like right before I go home. And then it seems, I think she said we were at 15,000 or something instead of 55,000, so.
That's better.
So we've dropped that considerably. So I think that answers our problem. There are some things we can adjust on that, but it's still gotta use so much water. I mean, we can only adjust it down so far, and it's pretty, it's
Still
already.
clean it.
You're right, so. The only thing that I wanted to ask of the board is, this month, next month, and probably the month after, I'm gonna be hauling sludge. Making anywhere from 10 to 12 loads out of there a day. I know we talked about locking the gate when I leave. Is that during business hours? Do you guys still want the gate locked every time I leave the facility? It never was that way, but I understand it's just 10, 12 loads in and out of their day, in and out, locking, unlocking, knocking.
How far are you gonna have to travel with it? The sludge should be gone.
I'll be gone about a 20-minute round trip. Once I leave to unload to come back, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on. I mean, you know, I can't say that I won't run into trouble, but. And I guess what I'm saying is, you know, it only takes 3 or 4 minutes to get out, unlock the gate, then get out and lock the gate. But at the end of the day, at 10 loads, that's an extra 45 minutes. That's an extra 2 loads I could haul.
Somebody falls in the pit though, that's a lot bigger issue. I would rather err on the side of caution.
Okay.
It's up to the board though, I mean,
Well, I didn't want to leave it open and then.
Right, I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it's a pain.
Be asked about it later, and I didn't want to, if I didn't have to, you know, I mean.
I know it's a pain.
It's an extra hour out of my day just locking and unlocking the gate, but, you know, I'm here for 8 hours a day, and you tell me what you want me to do.
I appreciate you looking out for the best interest in one aspect, but I fear the inevitable in the other. I mean, we're still in the middle of all season here in the next little bit. I can see somebody showing up early for practice and going in there. I just would not rather, it wouldn't be such a big issue after bowl season, but still would like the gates closed at very minimum.
Okay.
I don't want it to, I mean, I don't want them to feel that it's an open gate policy. Come on in, it's open.
Well, I know that's the way it used to be, you know what I mean, well,
Right.
Before I took over down there, it was open. If Brad was hauling sludge, it was open, it didn't matter. If he hauled sludge till 8 o'clock at night, the gates were open till he quit hauling sludge, and that's
the way I
new
feel.
board, new people,
It's
I
the
totally
board, so.
understand, you just tell me if you want it shut and
You all-
shut and locked when I
Share
leave.
inside. It's an hour's day, regardless.
Does anybody practice in the daytime down there till like 4 or 5?
There's 2 boys that I see probably twice a week, and they're the only 2 boys that are ever down there before 5 o'clock. It would be Rylan Roberts and that Bryson, I can't think of his last name.
Corey's
son. Corey McCurran's son. Those two come down there.
That's Isaac.
And yeah, you're right. It is Isaac. The
Isaac.
little one's Bryce. They come down there maybe twice a week. They're down there for about an hour hitting balls, and then they go back home.
Maybe we better be safe.
But those are the only kids that I see anytime during the day.
I think locking the gate.
It might be best.
shut or latched, I guess.
Well, and I'm not.
Kind of like the ice machines.
If you're gonna take the time to latch it, it don't take another 3 seconds to lock it either. So I mean,
Lock one of them, yeah.
You know.
I hate to say it, but I'd rather pay you the extra hour a day to in and out the truck myself. I mean,
Yeah, if he knows there's children, even a couple, it could be one of those.
Well, and I'm not saying that they'd be silly enough to jump in the pit and play, but boys will be boys. I mean,
I got one myself.
I got one myself. Yeah, inquisitive they are.
And close your eyes for 2 seconds, takes you an hour to find them.
Yeah, yeah. And I have been a boy myself, I hate to say.
So,
Okay, so.
but I don't have anything for you unless you got something for me.
We do anything on the valve for the sewer line going into the-
Yeah, there's a check ball valve put in. There's a shut-off valve. Ty put that in last month, correct? You put the check ball valve in.
Yep.
Ty put the shut-off ball valve in.
Yep.
It's in place. It is being utilized. In fact, it had been shut off and had been flowing through because the ball valve was shut off at that point in time. Somebody didn't quite understand opening it up before everybody got there. Same thing Mike said might happen, did happen.
Well, that's what I wondered.
However,
Where.
I'd rather have about a gallon or 2 versus
What we did.
20,000.
Yeah, what we did encounter. Yeah, that's no fun for anybody.
No, so, I mean, they've been put in and everything seems to be working.
And I commend you for forging forward with the ballpark, and if there's, I mean, I would support Jeff Doss or the city in any way to, as far as lending a hand to anyone or anything to help move forward for the recreation of the county.
I think it's a great idea, I wanna know more about it. I'm not,
Yeah, I just wanted, I'm for it, and if the city progresses by themselves, I'll stand with and behind, or wherever you want me to help out, and if it goes this way, I'll help them as much as I can too.
well, and I'll be trying to help as much as I can, but I would like to, with all this thrown in our laps, I just assume know the direction, the more, so.
Yep. So unless there's anything else?
Any other questions? Thank you, Mike.
Yep, thank you.
So back to the SCADA service agreement. We've got probably a couple of copies of it floating around.
Yeah.
Probably need,
We need to
board
vote on that.
to authorize the mayor to enter into the agreement or to sign it. I think it's actually a 3-year, yeah, we'll need a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to.
Make a motion, we give the mayor authority to enter into that contract.
Okay. Yeah, it's our service agreement for the
I will
SCADA
second that
system
motion.
at the sewer plant. And Dot,
How
second.
come everybody says to be Mary instead of me, or Rick, or? That's fine.
So, Rick made a motion, Dot seconded it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, one not here.
Okay, and I think, are there a couple places for you to sign? Maybe
Yeah.
there, and then on that exhibit A, the next part.
Here.
Just the part that says we'll pay quarterly.
Fine.
In there, yeah.
I'll let you type it. You're welcome. Mr. Robert Becker.
Well, I talked to Kelly, he said that there wasn't nothing really going on any different than most months for us. He's been going around checking derelict vehicles and grass that needs to be mowed and getting hold of who needs to be gotten hold of on that. Said he felt like he was in pretty good shape on that. If y'all have anything, just ask about it. We'll get it to him, take care of it.
I mentioned to him earlier today, I had the contractors that were tearing down the building got in touch with me directly. Somebody had been over there vandalizing.
Okay.
You might wanna keep an eye on that.
We'll watch that a little closer. I know I've been going by there in the evenings and looking as close as I can at it and stuff when I've been working. I know the other offices have as well, but
I
gonna
think
happen.
I figured it out who it was, and I will tell you that later.
Okay.
Investigate a little bit
That
further
would
if
be
you want.
great. That would be great. That's about all for the PD that I know of.
Well, they tore up some brick that just because. I mean, it didn't amount to much. It's the principle behind the matter. If we don't investigate and get behind it, then it'll
And if
escalate.
you don't check on it, they're gonna keep on doing it.
That's right. And there is several dollars worth of equipment sitting there.
Yes, there is.
Anybody have any other questions for Mr. Becker? Unfinished business. Any unfinished business?
I had a couple things, but I guess I need to go to all of these comments.
Let's see, I don't know where or when, they all have a copy of Mark Ross's written report. He said he didn't come tonight
Right.
That could have actually been when Mike and Ty were giving their reports, I guess.
I know.
Basically
request.
updates the board on the sewer project.
Fulton over here.
Yeah, Fulton is the, yeah.
Lining and concrete days. 75% completed their work. I thought we were there back in April.
Can I have a copy of that later?
Yes, that's what I figured you were gonna say, but I thought
Have they run into any
probably enough.
issues?
When where,
Highway?
Ron's
When
again?
people are robbing, it seems like they dug up.
Robbing from Ron's, we're gonna have to.
$20 share.
There was several little spots in front of the barn for whatever reason they asked us for.
So we might get reimbursed for $5,000. For the Reed lift station, didn't I have like
The Reed lift station, oh, that's the one that we had the bill in here.
that's the one?
Right, and so does he say that will be included next month or something? I didn't even read his report.
Well, there was a letter, maybe that was a separate letter that you handed to us.
I thought maybe Doug or Linda.
No,
Our agenda says dog.
Did I read that? Maybe that was in the.
Building.
yeah.
Oh,
Purcell Street, that's
Purcell is the
right
one out
County
by
Line Road.
Linda
farm
Ritchie's
shop.
here.
and all
Yeah,
that.
that's why.
So we have the,
See, this is dog.
and Mr.
I noticed it didn't.
I forgot to ask Ty about that, when we were gonna start doing the water.
oh,
I think they're holding up on the contract on purpose to see if we'll hold up on our end.
the city said they would replace the,
By June
Right.
first.
relocate the water line.
Did he get them to sign the easement?
I went out there, no, they've not
The
signed
only
it yet.
easement that's been signed, the Trouts have signed. So there's still Hayes's and Farm Shop.
Are we having a problem or not?
And
I don't think
doubt
Kelly's
it.
having the trouble. The farm shop, when I went out and asked them about it, they were willing to sign it.
What
Because
do they want?
us to hold up our end of the bargain.
We said by July 1, we would have relocated their water service.
Oh.
By July.
Well, we can't help it, our contractor's the ones behind, it's not so much us.
Well,
We've not made
we're
any
doing
move.
the city's
They're
doing
not
it.
trying to buy water
The
line.
city agreed like last
Maybe deeper.
winter. So Ty has called Dig Right for the locates, like last week, so
They should have, hopefully they can start.
they should be ready to start.
It's my mistake, I should ask that, but I will address that in the morning and see how far we're getting along.
That way they can step it out.
Correct.
While they're
I mean,
still here.
right, well, they've actually, what was it, Willis Brothers? They've actually pulled out the brochure. They made a motion and mentioned that they would like to come back before they're hauled off to Moberly as their next stop, so.
And then it tells them that, doesn't it, when they plan to be here next week maybe?
Yeah, I plan to be the July meeting. The very last paragraph before Thanksgiving.
Well, June 20th, they're doing the Fulton Street.
Right, that's the one, yeah.
That's next week.
Which they were gonna come back and do,
Yeah.
because we did get that easement signed.
It would be nice if we could have it all done all at once, ready to roll.
So how long will it take them on this one, on Fulton Street, did they say?
I have no idea.
I don't
Does
know
it cost to
what
get
they
it, get it done over on Farm Shop?
roll them right over there then?
No, the
To
farm
put it-
shop
you
thing
gotta put
has
up
to be
the
bid,
bids.
it has to,
I thought Tyler's gonna do
The water line.
The water
yeah,
line.
Sewer.
no, the
sewer's
sewer
bid.
project has to be bid out. That's a whole different kettle.
The other day I went out there, it was a 35-minute wait to get parts, so I know they're swamped right now. I had no more pool than anybody else.
So this is just
Hey, it's meant to be
basically
amazing.
updates, I think the board would know about this, you know about
This is
it.
new.
I visited, but I have to purchase it.
Well, it's,
Still in the old.
old business, had the
Well,
meeting, and then
right.
you met with the city attorney.
In meeting with the city attorney, this is what we have come up with. Basically, the same thing, he's gonna keep looking, read of it your own, so you get your own perspective.
He's supposed to bring something to the board, for the board to
He's gonna
consider in regard to
continue.
the building.
He's
code
continuing to look to
ordinance.
see how we can strengthen it, to see how we can adjust rates and so on. And I apologize if I've been short, I've just been running a little low on sleep, so.
I like how you put Dell and markers on there. Doug and
Oh,
Put
Dell.
Must have been in
You must be tired.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, is that his name?
What?
I thought it was like a street at first, and like I didn't.
a bit of a typo.
Sorry, Doug.
Yeah, left out, his name.
Uh-huh.
No.
I only seen him like once or twice.
Well, I guess I'll just keep signing my life away. Sure I can't have a stamp? It's real enlightening reading it every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna brush off the rest of what I read.
Everything costs dollars.
Yep. The sky is falling. Sure you wouldn't wanna run from there down there? It's on your line, just keep signing your name.
My worst fear is having the same as me, and we'd be here all night.
Here's our new mower. Here's our new mower. Here is our new refrigerator for the wall shack. I have them up on a table, but the table was not tall enough. It got very deep in there last fall. Deep enough. It was up over my door on the road. No, we had not replaced it at that point.
Well, could I go ahead and bring up Alderman's comments and then you carry it?
I don't care.
You could jump while you're doing that. I just had a couple things. The county road that we share, the county road over by the farm shop. I know in the past, we haven't done for several years about spraying it with the calcium chloride. I don't know if that's something anybody's interested in or not, doing a share cost with the county. And I don't know if they even do it, but I know it's pretty dirty.
We've been doing it.
We haven't done it for a couple of
We
years.
haven't done it for a while.
Oh, 3 years or so at least.
Yeah, it's
probably.
been a while.
And I think it probably needs it. So I didn't know if that was something anybody wanted to approach the county about, but I don't think they have the funds either, I don't know. But
It's basically
And I
dust
do
control.
think maybe Callahan's and Parks maybe donated to the county. I understood maybe in the farm shop to help pay for that a little bit.
Well, I don't know. It would be wonderful if we could do that everywhere, but I don't know if we could do that everywhere. Most beneficial to that would be the landowners on this side of the road there.
Or we're city employees on it, city people on that side. See, because we cost share that road, we split it down the middle, the road.
We just put rock on it.
But I know it's just pretty dirty. And I know in the past we've done it for years, but for some reason it kind of got slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, we haven't done it in a long time, and of course it only lasts, I mean, it's not like it lasts.
It does, without moisture, it doesn't do it.
And of course it comes out of the street department material.
And the other thing, I know, at some point, I think it was before you were here, Eric, that Harley Hamlin had asked for us to grade his hump there in front of his property. And we did, and it turned out really well. And I know McCarty's have one in front of their house too, and it's really kind of up there. So I think you might see McCarty's. He's not mentioned to me, but I just noticed it when I go that way now so much. And I just want to maybe ought to think about, I should have asked Ty when he was here.
There at the intersection?
That turns onto the county road,
Yeah,
yeah.
we knocked that off one time.
Yeah, but I think it needs, like Harley's. Harley's, we took 3 foot off.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there's something we could maybe talk to Ty about, or something anybody's interested in allowing or not. Those are my, all of these comments.
We need to get dig rights on there, make sure there's no other water line issues there, cause I'd sure hate to have another water line issue or sewer or anything to that effect, because trying to do one good
Well,
deed.
there's a water manhole over there by Harley's, so I'm not sure they're CEs, but they graded some years ago, it's been a long time. But it
Is
could
it
have quite a bit.
all big right already, or?
Yes.
Other than the water
For
line?
the, yes, it did, yeah.
I don't see why we can't do the dust control.
But that'll
Go
only
in
be
the county
if they
wanna do it.
will, see, I don't know if they will or not.
So is everybody
Once
worked,
Delmer's finishing,
I'm sorry, what?
has everybody worked with the application?
Delmer's finishing, oh,
Application,
Richie's,
so some Hunos will live behind them, I guess.
yeah, I don't know who those are.
Saying they block the view of these Hunos.
Ain't gonna bother me.
I wondered why they didn't put in a big garden this year.
I kinda wondered that too.
Now we know,
They had
the garage.
just got our tomatoes sitting out there.
Yeah, isn't there a winter across the street from this thing?
He's no good.
Got summers and winters. I just think-
Yeah, I've got summers
Winters,
and winters.
sorry.
Yeah.
What does everybody think about the first contact from the city attorney? How would you like to pursue? Let him keep digging, delving?
I think we need to, because we got a lot of old buildings.
I think we do too. I'd like to be able to push people to, not push, but I would like to see people want to do the right thing.
Take care of the things.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
The,
Previous month, we'd asked for the right, I'd asked for the right to go talk to the city attorney, and this is a letter back from him informing us of how he's progressing. We've all read it, and we just wanna make sure that I wanna make sure that everybody wants to go ahead and continue.
with the attorney investigating. We've got a lot of older buildings.
It's
we don't want
revising
anything
the
else to happen.
revising the ordinance, right?
Right.
Okay.
And he'll submit something to the board for their consideration.
When he gets it done.
So he'll continue to go on that then. Any other unfinished business? I know we jumped ahead, but is there any other unfinished business that you know?
So anybody?
The GM was still on the.
Yeah, again.
I don't know, and I guess I need to follow up. I talked to Corey and I did the online application and.
They stalled out
nothing.
after
And
that.
And we understood, or I understood from her, that she had someone in mind that he would be a good person to work for us, and I haven't heard anymore.
Okay. Well, we'll probably ought to continue to check into that.
Yeah.
Ryan and I agreed at the last meeting, I guess, to split the duties. I'd start them off and check on it at the end of the day, or midday whenever he get off work at the end of the day. We'd give them a list of tasks to do, they clock in here and leave.
Oh,
What
I
we
didn't know that.
discussed, him and I, all in favor of that would be, anybody else wanna do that? You wanna do that?
This is like for mowing, weed eating, or whatever.
Right, whatever we delegate for you to do. As far as painting stripes, mowing, weed eating, spraying.
Your cleaning to be done at the city park down below. We got those shingles
Some
on,
of the
the
tables
buildings
need to be
stuff.
painted. I
Yeah.
was down
There
there
could be some
recently.
paint there maybe too then.
We need to do that, and we
paint.
probably also need to, paint stripes and curbs, which can be done, as Delmer's indicated. I think we're good on the fire hydrants, aren't we? We had a gentleman that
Yeah.
was so gracious to get in trouble 2 years ago that went through and painted everything.
Yeah.
They got a paint stripe down there.
Yep.
Right.
But we don't wanna stripe anything.
We don't.
Reseal the streets.
If we
Yeah.
painted the curb, that'd be one thing, but I'd like to wait till we reseal the streets before we stripe them.
Are you gonna do any uptown streets?
If we painted the curbs like we should be doing now, I think that would be a gracious start. But until we get the blacktop down and it all leveled off, there's really no need to paint. The stripes are there.
If we're not gonna do anything with the streets uptown.
We're gonna do something with all the streets if we can, we're gonna go as far as our money will allow us. So, that's gonna be, the next month, that'll put us into, in July, we ought to be able to start doing whatever we're gonna do by then.
They're gonna have to start, because time will run out.
I understand that.
Another June, and somebody's gonna have to get parked built somewhere.
I understand that.
Just excuses is gonna run out.
I don't know, but with our situation of our streets, I don't know, would it be feasible for us to bring in Bill Gosney again? He had taught Mike when Mike.
That has
came in,
been brought up.
to kind of tell
to
us what would be
Ty,
the right direction with
that's kind
our
of what,
situation.
that's kind of what Ty and I discussed back in April. I think they were gonna try to talk to him and see if he would be willing to come, right?
He might not be willing to go.
Would it
Right.
be a good report for him too?
Well, that's true too.
He could have enough on his own plate that he doesn't want to take
Oh, I think
anymore.
I have no problem with getting Bill to do it, but we're gonna have to start.
Yeah.
Gonna have to get in gear, be to work,
And that's just
7 o'clock, and stay to work, and not just run here and there.
We've never got that grid done for Jeff Doss, that was last year in
No,
August.
it was supposed to be done this
Yeah.
spring.
I know.
It ain't gonna get there.
Here's my list, Eric, if you'd like to look at it someday.
At the end of the meeting, if you'll photocopy that, I'll be glad to see that.
Things to do,
Yeah.
it just ain't getting done, I mean.
Not to hold the meeting up or
Right.
push it all through, but we are finished with unfinished business. On to new business. Application for a building permit, Doug and Linda Kerr.
I don't have a problem with it.
They're gonna leave the other garage on the end or what?
I'd about imagine that, yeah, I'd about imagine they're just adding another
Yeah, they've already
garage
got
to the
a
side.
garage addition.
Yeah.
house from up here. Might be able to get your, have a
Yeah.
bonfire in there.
Well, that'll be all right. More seclusion.
Your neighbors got a patio area, what they put up there, summers.
I think it would have been there, but they put some things on it, right? Right. Had a motion, we've had a second. All in
Yes.
favor? Unanimous, one not here. This is how it's spelled, baby. Don't hit me, Margaret.
Spell check just didn't pick up on that.
I didn't
No,
think
they'll
that.
be under there too.
I'm not the greatest speller either.
I didn't think that was his name.
Well,
Well,
do we
yeah,
have
this
any,
time.
can I speak now?
Yeah, all it's going.
What's the plans with the old water treatment facility?
Oh.
The walls are so thick to tear it down, I don't know if we have any plans. I'd entertain some ideas and plans and motions, I mean, maybe we could use it for storage, maybe we could.
I didn't know if there was water.
I say it's so many different levels, I don't
Well,
think they're.
Delmer's been through it with a fine tooth for 20-some years. What could we do with the building?
That's fall down, I guess, and tear it down.
Yeah, we've talked about it for years, you know,
Well,
what to do.
while we have the gentleman in town, maybe they would like to tear it down for the brick.
There's a tank, they big tank out there. Alright, it's got a fence around it, there's nobody can get in.
How thick are those walls on that tank?
About 12 inches, I think.
It would be some expense with a jackhammer or a track oak.
Doesn't take long to boom the wood, it takes. Boom it in. But you know, the windows, Mike had said, wasn't it last year, a couple years ago, that the windows were good. It was actually a sound structural building.
Yeah.
You know, it's really not a place or two that the brick is bad on.
Well, what is it any good? I mean, it's
It's
just
not,
sitting
but,
there.
yeah.
It's an eyesore. It'd be kinda hard for us to go to pushing the other people to do something in your building when we're letting ours fall
We
into.
talked about all kinds of.
Which one is it? Across from
Water
Casey's?
plant, Brick building, down the ball diamond, on the left side.
One that says cash only on it? Oh.
Yeah.
Back when they used to sell water out of it?
Yeah, sold bulk water.
I bought bulk water out there. I don't want to date myself, but I bought bulk water out there. I mean, that's
Well, the
something we need to
brick's
be.
not falling in or anything like that, so I mean, it's no.
But what good is it to the city and us? I mean, how can we go to pushing against other people to do something with their stuff that's falling down when we're not gonna do stuff for our own?
Well, it would be nice to have it done.
Well, that's why I just wanted, bring it up, because, so
I
it's
guess
not
most of the
starting to
brick
fall
is all in
down.
the hole, I mean, it's way deep.
Well, you're right. Maybe we could, one of the guys that are wanting to take brick down, maybe we could entice them to take the building part down and at some point be able to punch it in and be done with it.
Could you just fill the tanks up with sand or something?
Yeah, I could just let the brick fall in the. That thing's deep, I mean, it's deep.
How deep? It might be already
30
cool.
30 feet.
30 foot?
There we go.
Deep
It's
sea
a
diving?
deep down.
It is, it.
That would be in a round pool right there. Stuff the building around.
It had the whole.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Martin, I had asked you earlier, did you ever check when the water tower was cleaned of mold? How many years has it been?
Yeah, I ain't gonna mention that, but
I'd asked you one time, quite a while back, to check it, no hurry, but.
it need to be
But I
worked.
didn't.
It's gonna, but, yeah, we have to get in our budget, so
Yeah,
y'all
we
are
figured
serious for that, because it's
by
pretty
next
expensive.
year, yeah.
So we need,
Isn't it on a rotation?
usually we try to
They-
do it every 3 years, I think, in the past.
Well, I mean, no, like it's some sort of rule, like it has to be cleaned out
Yeah,
and
we
done
did
all
that,
the,
yeah.
and
We've
that's,
had the divers come and do the inspection that way.
The outside of it. needs
isn't
to
that
be-
every 3 years they have to do all that? They have to inspect the inside, the outside, that's why they do it, because it's part of that
Yeah, well, of
mandatory.
course, we did the cleaning of the outside
I don't do the
just
divers.
by itself.
Right, the
without-
divers don't do it every
Yeah, we
time.
did that just because it
Right.
looked nasty. with
And it
all
might be
that
time for
mold.
divers, I don't know, but
Yeah, it may
we
be
need to
time
check
for
back
the
into all
actual
that.
inspection.
The outside needs to be worked.
Right,
I've
but
seen
it's
other-
several
I've
thousand
seen other
dollars.
towns that are just black.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we need to think about it and see how
Yeah.
close we're getting to get in the budget.
Right, yeah.
Cause it could be $5, $6, $7,000.
Well,
Yeah.
and I,
Oh, yeah.
I think we just need to look into
It was
see
5 or 6
how long it's gonna
several
be,
years ago.
maybe see what it would cost
Mhm.
before we go to
We need to
Yeah.
keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
I'll look back and see.
I'm not very good at remembering stuff. I don't remember anything. I can't remember something. I had something, but I forgot. Anybody else have any comments they'd like to see looked into? Bring up there in the next meeting?
I think we probably will wanna visit with Jeff, he gets some names from Jude.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I'm not naysaying it. I just
Uh-huh.
wanna see,
Who's really backing everything, yeah.
well, I wanna see a concise plan. I mean, I don't wanna get it up off the ground to watch it blow up like the Hindenburg. I mean, I wanna see it go through. So. Come on, Dot, I see you're thinking.
Thinking about making a motion to adjourn.
Yes, that was what I was
I
thinking.
thought
I'd
that's what you
entertain
were
that
thinking.
I make the motion, we adjourn.
Second?
I'll say it.
Renee?
All in favor? You wanna, yea or nay? You wanna stay here all night?
Yeah.
All in favor?